Today has been a day. But this is fun for me, so I thought I would come back on and show you guys what we're making tonight. I'm making chicken and yellow rice. If anyone's on, please say hi. I'd love to say hi to you guys. I normally just buy like a package of Vigo brand, V-I-G-O, yellow rice in a packet. It comes with all the seasonings in it already. It makes it super easy, but I don't have that right now. So I just looked up a quick recipe, and I'm going to wing it tonight. But we will see how it turns out. But Daniel has made this kind of rice before, and it's turned out fine. So I am just going to go with the fact that he knows what he's doing. But I have been really trying to be good at only going to the grocery store every 2 weeks. So I am trying to use whatever we have at the house to kind of make that stretch and make that work. Especially since Daniel has asthma, I just don't want to chance anything. So I've been the one going to the grocery store and just kind of making everything from what we have for those 2 weeks and making it stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the view on here. You guys can see what I'm doing. I basically just heated up my pan. If you guys have seen my the Chinese chicken recipe or the Cantonese chicken, I use this sauce for so many things. It's equal parts minced ginger, minced green onions, and oil, and then you add a little salt and pepper to taste. I just put that in the bottom of the pan because the recipe for the yellow rice calls for a little bit of ginger, like ground ginger, which I don't have. And I just simply seasoned my chicken just with like an all seasoning salt, just because I'm going to put the rice in the bottom of this too. I'm going to use the same pan. I'm a big fan of using just one pan, one cutting board, one big utensil for the whole thing because I do not like doing dishes. So this helps out a lot. So basically I'm just browning the chicken. So just a couple of minutes on each side. I would say anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes on each side. We are going to put it in the oven. I put it the oven on 350 degrees. We're going to put it in the oven once this is all assembled and browned, and we're going to put it in there for between 20 to 25 minutes. So I guess kind of make sure your chicken is probably halfway cooked, especially if there's bone in. I have bone in chicken thighs here. I also went ahead and minced up about a half of a medium onion. It does call for some garlic, but I'm low on garlic, so I'm just using garlic powder. That classic yellow color is going to come from the turmeric. A lot of people think they have to use saffron, but hello, saffron is so expensive. There's no way I'm using saffron. And you can get the same taste and color that you want from that yellow rice from the turmeric. So that works just as well. Again, I'm just browning these chicken thighs, just a few minutes on each side here. If you're kind of just tuning in now, I had basically put some oil that had a little bit of minced ginger and minced garlic in there. You don't have to have that. I just had it pre-made in my little jar. You can, simply add a little garlic powder or ginger later. I just know I needed that flavor for my rice. So I just went ahead and used what I had. Again, just kind of whipping this all together with what I've got because I'm not doing another grocery run until about Tuesday or Wednesday. Hey, Mara. Yeah, I see you. Ripping up tissues. Great. And then I saw some recipes called for bay leaf. Some did not. So I just went ahead and found like a crumpled up half one in there that I'm going to throw in to just season my rice. I figured it can't do any harm, so I'm just going to do that. And I also have some frozen peas right here. Traditionally in yellow rice, you're going to find pigeon peas, which you can find those dried in the international section. Daniel's dancing over here. Your noodles are over there if you want them. I heated them up for you. Or I think they even come in cans for the pigeon peas. I think that's possible. They're like little, like smaller, round, dark green peas that are typical for this dish. Love you too. All right. So just to let you know, these little crispy bits that you're finding on top of my chicken is actually the garlic and the ginger that were in my oil. So don't like freak out. This is not what you would see. And again, I just simply seasoned it with like an all seasoning salt. All right, these are almost ready. And I did preheat my oven to 350. Hey, baby. Okay, so I think these are done. I have a plate over here. I'm going to go ahead and just transfer these to my plate. And we've got all this good yum seasoning on the bottom of this pan, which I am again going to use this same pan. You guys have seen me do that several times because I hate dirtying more than one dish. So we're going to go ahead and just add the onions to this pan. If you do have minced garlic, go ahead and add it at this time. Again, I just have garlic powder because I'm running low on garlic. And I'm using one hand, so bear with me. I'm just going to shake a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to put in some garlic powder. And the turmeric, they said about a teaspoon. So I'm going to eyeball it here. You can always add a little bit more once the rice is done if you wanted to. I'm just going to cook these onions down so they kind of pick up some of those things on the bottom as well. When you do it this way, you're not going to have to add any extra butter or oil to cook your rice. You do cook your rice a little bit before you add the water or chicken stock. Just cook those down a little bit. I'm going to get my rice. All right, and over here, again, my 1 cup measuring cup is in the wash. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here again. I'm going to do about 2 cups of rice here. That way, if there's any leftovers, again, yay for leftovers, because I'm cooking all the time. All right. So we're just going to kind of cook the rice a little bit. I don't know if you guys have ever used this technique, but it kind of just gives it a better flavor. I don't really know how to explain it, but it kind of just toasts the rice before you add the water. Gets all those seasonings in there. Now you notice I haven't added any salt because I typically like to use, and I don't have chicken stock handy unless I've made it myself. I like to use chicken powder bouillon, and that has a lot of salt in it. So if you don't have that, or if you have like a low sodium chicken broth that you prefer to use, go ahead and, use that, add your salt at this point. But I'm not adding any additional salt since I'm using that chicken powder. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and get my chicken powder now. With my rice, you just follow the instructions on the back of your rice bag. For 2 cups on stove top, for 2 cups of rice, for my rice that I'm using, you use 2.5 cups of water. And since I'm adding this chicken powder, it's going to make it like a chicken stock. So I'm going to go ahead and actually transition. I am going to add my peas first. Since they are frozen, I don't want it to really, I want to be able to bring that water up to a boil. So I'm putting about, what would that be? You think like 2/3 cup of peas. If you don't like peas or you prefer corn, you could do that. If you like red pepper, you could certainly put that in here too. Just make it how you like it. Don't make cooking complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my water. I'm just gonna turn it back to me for a second, just so I can get my water. You guys don't have to stare at my dirty sink. Okay, so 1, 2.5 cups for me. Again, follow whatever it says on your rice packet. Like I said, I've not made it just with the turmeric before, but Daniel has, and I've seen him do it. It's actually pretty easy to make the yellow rice from that. For this 2 cups of rice, I've only used 1 teaspoon of turmeric. And it actually looks pretty good. Here, I'll show you here. Now that the liquid's in here, you can see how that water, or that broth, in your case, you know, whatever you have, is turning yellow. You can see that kind of yellow hue. So what I'm gonna do is my heat's already set to 7, so I'm just gonna wait here. I can see some little bubbles already. You just wanna make sure it comes up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, we're just gonna simply place our chicken that we cooked halfway back on top here and place it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Again, that's basically based off of your rice. Within that 20 minutes, your chicken is certainly going to cook all the way through, but you just want to make sure that the rice is cooked, because who wants to chomp into uncooked rice? Nobody. All right. Give that a final stir here. I can see that's already, you see all those little bubbles. It's coming up to a boil now, so I'm going to add my chicken thighs back to this. Again, just kind of place them on top. And I love, again, how this makes, like, you know, a 1-pot meal. And, you know, if you got a bigger pot, or at this point, if you're making a huge one for a bunch of people, you could simply transfer this whole concoction to like a casserole dish and then just lay your chicken on top, as long as the rice is in there and everything and it's hot. Then you can stick that into the oven really easily. Okay. All right, well, that's it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and take my pan and I'm gonna put it in the oven, again, for 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how long it takes for your rice to cook, whatever you have. And I will take a picture of this at the end and let you know how it is. Bye.